on a documentary, I think a lot of people thought that he was just joking around. It turns out he's not. So this is actually a real project that's being made under his G-Unit movie.
So how would you feel about me telling people that I'm single because we go together?
We always knew Young Miami had the spotlight, but no one expected her to flip it on Diddy himself. The same Diddy who, not long ago, sat untouchable on a throne of jets, mansions, and legendary after hours. Now, we're staring at a breakup that feels less like gossip and more like a courtroom thriller. It starts, as always, with the money, almost $500,000 a month, funneled straight from Diddy's empire into Miami's account. On paper, it looked like a girlfriend allowance. Behind the curtain, it was hush money, silence bought and paid for. The mogul knew her secrets were priceless. But the empire started cracking. Legal fees piled up, cash reserves thinned, and suddenly those sweet monthly transfers went dark. When Miami saw the faucet cut off for good, she didn't cry, she countered. And her counter wasn't small. She came back demanding an eye-watering $500 million from the man who once promised her forever.
Like if you and Diddy were in a scene together, what would that scene look like? Would it be romance? Would it be...
It'd be baby boy.
This isn't just a messy breakup. It's trench warfare with secrets primed like explosives. And the courtroom. Forget silence and gavels. It's turned into Manhattan's wildest stage. Reporters elbowing for space, lawyers running on fumes, and a judge whose eyebrows practically launched into orbit. The tension spiked when Miami's team slid fresh papers across the bench. Documents they swore proved Diddy owed more than overdue checks. Every eye locked on the judge, who, according to whispers, looked like she'd just been told Santa runs the CIA on weekends. But here's the kicker, Miami isn't playing the wounded card. She's not breaking down, not begging. She's walking in armed, demanding every dollar, every edge, and staring down cross-exams without a single flinch about how deep she really was in Diddy's world.
Dishonest, violent, horrible. A promiscuous swinger who lied to and cheated on multiple partners. Incredibly, that's how Sean Diddy Combs' own lawyers described the billionaire music mogul, currently facing serious trafficking charges in a New York court.
As the filings stack higher, the real question claws at everyone. Was Young Miami just another paycheck name, or was she in the room when the real deals were struck? 3 former insiders, people who lived through those infamous freak-off weekends, claim Miami wasn't just a guest. She controlled the guest list. In court papers from producer Rodney Lil Rod Jones, Diddy is said to have bragged about women on monthly retainers. Miami's name appears right there, alongside claims she moved pink party powder at his request. She's denied it all, blasting back online, "I'm not a worker. I never sold a day in my life. Still, the whispers won't die." Did she bring more than charm? Did she recruit, send those 3 a.m. texts, guard the velvet rope? Nobody can confirm, but nobody's ready to clear her either. Now her demand for $500 million feels less like flexing power and more like a desperate shield, an attempt to keep her own name off the next indictment. The timing couldn't be sharper. Federal eyes on Diddy, raids in LA and Miami, and a lineup of women and ex-assistants stepping forward. Cash grab, preemptive strike, pure survival. Whatever it is, it's playing. The courtroom's on fire with tension, cameras catching every glare between Miami and Diddy. 2 sharks circling, bluffing with everything on the line. And the judge? After wading through more NDAs than anyone should in a lifetime, she looks stunned, while even a bailiff muttered outside, "I've never seen anything like this."
Is going through a number of different reasons. Again, very quick reporting indicates that the judge is citing to the defense attorney's own statements during the case. that Sean Combs is a violent person, has had violent personal relationships. But of course, the defense said that doesn't mean he's guilty of racketeering. It looks like the judge is now using those statements to say he should be.
What sends the spectacle into overdrive is Miami's sudden pivot from quiet shadows to front-page flashes. This time on the arm of Stephon Diggs, star wideout for the Houston Texans. Paparazzi caught it all. Miami at Carbone, drink in hand, Diggs hovering just out of frame. Then came the Instagram story, quickly deleted, complete with a neon happy birthday glowing for his 31st. The tabloids, frenzied. Is this a rebound romance or a calculated chess move, aligning with an athlete whose record is spotless, just as Diddy's empire smolders? One former City Girls manager insists it's strategy, not fate. Miami even laced up Diggs' custom sneakers to a Texans game, drawing whispers without offering a single quote. The rumor machine is working overtime, but no one's buying the fairy tale of a scorned lover magically swept into Sunday football. Diggs' arrival feels almost scripted, stepping in the moment Miami's name hit court documents and gossip blogs tied her to Diddy's darkest parties. So what is it? Genuine love? Or a rebrand disguised as romance before subpoenas start flying? Her publicists won't say a word, but her visibility has exploded. And the optics are undeniable. Standing with Diggs, she's wrapped in the NFL shield like it's the toughest bulletproof vest money can't buy.
I'll move on from such a public relationship and keep it all private. Like there was no spill out, there was no mess, there was nothing for us to write about on.
Meanwhile, Diddy sits in court, his empire crumbling around him. $500 million at stake. His lawyers stretched thin, battling on 3 fronts: criminal indictments, civil suits, and now the betrayal of a woman who knows every code, every burner phone, every shadow corner of his empire. Miami's attorneys insist she deserves more than hush money. They say she's been dragged through the tabloids, smeared by proximity. But here's the sting: they never once claim she's innocent. And everyone in the room knows why. Too many whispers, too many late-night clips, too many grainy phone recordings to brush aside. One juror even told a reporter outside, "Every time someone talks, the stakes double."
Referred to me as Wild King Nights. And what a Wild King Night was when him and a guest would go to a hotel room or be at his home, his bedroom, and they would have intimate gatherings. I would have to go and prep that hotel room, which consisted of baby oil, Astroglide.
And still, whispers about Miami's own role refuse to die. One ex-bodyguard calls her a recruiter. Another says she was the gatekeeper. A third, too nervous to go on record, swears she was the party planner no one dared to cross. She hasn't been charged yet. But as the judge sorts through piles of evidence, flawed by the size of the payouts, the courtroom keeps circling one question: who's really running this game? Diddy's legal fees skyrocket, his fortune bleeds out, and each morning headlines drop like bombs. Another missing transfer, another unexplained disappearance. If Miami wins, she won't just cash in. She'll rewrite her part in the story itself. The whole circus has turned into a trial of both their legacies. For Diddy, it could be the fatal fracture that topples everything. For Miami, it's either the perfect long con or the boldest bluff Hollywood's ever seen, and no one can look away. Not the press, not the public, because if this case cracks open Diddy's vault of secrets, there's no world where Miami walks away spotless.
Trying to find her, and her attorney has said that she may not be willing to come and testify anyway. So, be interesting. Okay, we're moving on.
What began as a money fight has now shaken Diddy's entire inner circle. A world once fueled by loyalty, private jets, diamond watches, endless perks, now feels like a mansion of locked doors and whispered warnings. Insiders say his closest allies are scrambling for legal shields, speed dialing lawyers, wiping old texts like their lives depend on it. The old guard, the ones who bragged about being untouchable, have slipped into hiding. One ex-road manager claims people are flipping fast. Nobody wants to be the last one left holding secrets. Even his security detail, usually ghosts in the background, now shadows him like hawks. Men who look like they know the stakes go far beyond a tarnished name.
Because we now know who all the prosecutors will be on Diddy's trial. They're all women. They have assembled a team of female prosecutors, and that is definitely...
The panic spreads like wildfire. Miami's lawsuit didn't just make headlines, it cracked open Diddy's empire. Suddenly, old allies from every tier are whispering to reporters and prosecutors. Pandora's box is the phrase on everyone's lips, tossed around more this week than in years of scandal. All it could take is one midnight call, one gentle push from a federal agent, and this star-driven feud turns into a tidal wave. Tell-alls, leaked depositions, surprise witnesses. A few years back, no one thought a woman in Miami's spot would ever break the code of silence. Now the dominoes are lined up. Will she spark others to confess, or is she just the first in a parade of insiders ready to cash in and shred their NDAs? Diddy's own circle seems rattled. The party planners, jet bookers, even the spreadsheet guys. They're treating each other like enemies, not teammates. And everyone fears the same thing. If Miami's bold enough to waive receipts in public, who else might walk in with a stack of emails and a story that burns? Prosecutors are watching every new filing, every suspicious leak, every DM that smells like a tip-off. We've seen this pattern before. One public crack, and suddenly the whole machine collapses into a race. Who cuts the first deal before the music stops?
Interestingly, we haven't seen the indictments yet. There's been some time lag. I suppose it will take some time to go through all the forensic,
As the legal tremors spread, the quieter collapse may be Diddy's empire of money itself. His accounts, once so loaded they could bankroll a nation, are said to be bleeding dry. Sources claim the avalanche of criminal defense fees, civil suits, and non-stop crisis PR has turned his offices into a carousel of accountants, each arriving with a bigger invoice than the last. Bail requests denied, time after time, only fuel the sense that his fortune can't shield him anymore. Creditors creep closer with every court date. Music insiders who once hailed him as the most liquid man in the industry now whisper he's the most over-leveraged. No figures confirmed, but the talk is unpaid debts, fire sales on real estate, even quiet fights with old friends demanding repayment. Some call it poetic justice, the mogul who weaponized cash now trapped by the very silence he used to buy. One longtime associate, speaking anonymously, painted Bad Boy Records as apocalyptic. Deals falling apart, sponsors cutting ties, and the rumor mill sprinting faster than any press release. The fallout is everywhere. Staff suddenly laid off, meetings cancelled at the last minute, company cars surrendered overnight. A few insiders even claim his own family is urging him to pull the plug, to retreat before there's nothing left but lawsuits, debt collectors, and scandal headlines.
I'm not speaking on it because I don't care. I'm not getting into it. I don't. I don't.
And those payments to Young Miami? They're just a fragment of the bigger collapse, a symptom, not the cause. When Diddy shut off that pipeline, it wasn't just the end of a romance. It was a neon signal flashing that the vault had finally run dry. And in this world, when the money stops, so does the silence. Secrets start to spill. The missed payouts, the lawsuit, the desperation, they all spell one thing: empire in freefall. Miami's $500 million demand is less about love and more about survival in a war where only one side walks away intact. But even as the spotlight burns on Diddy, it swings right back to Miami's shadowy role in his orbit. Court filings accused her of ferrying pink party powder on private jets, allegedly at Diddy's own request. Producer Rodney Lil Rod Jones named her directly, claiming he saw Combs take a few lines before calling Miami to deliver more on board. She's denied it, loud, defiant, Miami style. Still, the whispers grow. Each week, new voices claim she wasn't just arm candy, but coordinator, booking flights, curating guest lists, running the schedule for those notorious freak-off weekends.
What's really going to be interesting is the parade of celebrities who we expect to be mentioned and or called into that courtroom. You know, people who we hadn't heard about prior, like Mike Myers, you know, Austin Powers, Mike Myers. Why is he getting called? Why is he on the witness list? That'll be fascinating. And then, of course, there are the no-name, quote unquote, women who are going to have to find every ounce of courage they have.
It's always easier to claim victimhood once the checks stop clearing. That's the tightrope at the heart of this saga. Yes, Miami may have been used, but did she also benefit? Was she pushed into those roles, or did she step into them willingly? 3 insiders, all with nothing left to lose, insist she was no bystander. One ex-assistant recalls her barking orders at 2 a.m. An old booking agent flat out says she was the go-to link to Diddy when nights spiraled out of control. That's not the story Miami's lawyers are selling in court, but she's not the one under grand jury scrutiny, at least not yet. So what does that make her? A whistleblower, courageously striking back, or a strategist cashing in at the collapse, first selling her silence, then her secrets? The contradictions are glaring. She demands justice while dodging questions about who she may have recruited, what she may have carried, and how long she helped guard Diddy's hidden world. Her lawsuit lands like a precision strike, filed just as federal pressure peaks and just as public sympathy tilts in her direction. If that's not the art of the game, played at its highest level, what is?
It's probably leaning towards guilt. Now, on the racketeering, I agree with you that the predicate acts may be found, but that's not all they need. There's an ultimate question. The first question on the jury verdict form is, do you find him guilty or not guilty of racketeering? Before you even get to the predicate acts, which you only get to if you find guilt, they could just be hung up on that question and say, this guy's not Tony Soprano. I am not convinced that I even want to find guilt.
Amid the courtroom storm, one truth cuts through the noise. There are no innocents here, only survivors. Diddy's camp claims he's the target of vendettas and jealous ex-associates. Miami's side insists she's finally fighting back, but from the outside, the lines blur. Both played the fame game, both thrived on excess, and now both are trapped in the fallout. The judge presides in silence. Prosecutors quietly stitch together new cases in the background. The industry watches, breath held, waiting for the next flip, the next lawsuit, the next deal cut before the house of cards collapses. In open court, Diddy's attorneys clash with Miami's, while old allies turn rivals and insiders scramble to cover their tracks. The question nobody dares ask on record hangs heavy. Who survives this implosion and who falls next? If Miami's move truly cracked Pandora's box, then secrets, grudges, and fortunes long buried won't stay hidden much longer. The scandal is devouring reputations, careers, and empires in real time. With Diddy's fortune on the brink, Miami's motives under fire, and everyone else ducking for cover, the stage is set. Will her lawsuit topple the bad boy king, or will her own skeletons drag her down before a payout ever arrives? Is this the last act of a decades-long saga, or the prologue to something even darker, about power, loyalty, and the true cost of silence? Now it's your turn. Whose side are you on? Is young Miami the brave whistleblower, the ultimate opportunist, or just another player caught in the crossfire? And what secrets do you think are still waiting to detonate? Drop your boldest theories below. This story is far from over. Until next time, stay sharp, stay curious, and remember, in this world, nothing is ever what it seems.